Hello, everyone from Dnrovin Ranch. It's October 3rd, 2017, and with me I have my good friend Hobie here. Good to see you, Hobie. Yeah, thank you.
It's a beautiful fall day.
Yeah, beautiful fall day. A cold, beautiful fall day. You'll notice me in my Alaska kind of over shirt. I wore this in a beautiful, but it's on the nippy side. Yes. Finally. And we are glad for that, aren't we?
After this crazy, hot, smoky summer, yes.
Yes, indeed. In fact, this is a fall kind of like on other falls, for me at any rate. It's been a fall mixed with a lot of angst. Mm-hmm. And I hear that that's happened in your household as well.
Right. We had to put our cat down. Her name's Coco. We put her down on September 18th, just 2 Mondays ago. And she was about 18 years old, so she had a really good life. But it's sad and it's hard to put a pet down who has been with you for so long. And yeah, it's just, I guess it was a good time for her to go because one of her last meals was grasshoppers. So it was not kibble or canned food, it was a grasshopper. So I was thankful for that. She got like a summer bounty before she passed.
Well, let me hold the thoughts of FloJo for a moment, and we'll come back to her. I'd like to hear more about her story. But I would like to also say that our angst has come not just from what's been happening here at the ranch, but what's been happening in the world in a greater sense. You know, this last month has been full of bad news. We've had monsoon rains in Southeast Asia that have displaced millions of people, the hurricanes in Florida and Texas and Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. I have friends in the Virgin Islands, and I know many of our viewers have friends in Florida and in Texas and in Puerto Rico. And then, of course, this weekend's shooting in Las Vegas has all left us a little bit reeling from the bad news, and our valley was already in the midst of trying to recover from this awful fire in western Montana, the whole part of the state, and so it seemed like it was a difficult time for a lot of people, and a lot of people are having even a more difficult time, and it makes me ever grateful for the fact that our fires are over and we can send our thoughts and prayers to other people, and it's just, you know, it makes you appreciate what you have.
It does, and I've been thinking too about the massive earthquakes in Mexico. That was 8.1 in the Mexico City area, and then towards the Pacific coast, and then also our neighbors to the north in Canada, British Columbia and Alberta, had significant wildfires, and as we speak, Waterton is still closed to all visitors because of all the destruction and fallen trees up there. So these fire seasons seem to be more persistent, longer, more intense, and we seem to go from winter to wet spring to a fire season in a nanosecond these days. Boy,
this September really exemplified that, didn't it? I mean, it was hot and smoky and just exceptionally hot at the beginning of September, and then it changed on a dime. We went from an 80-degree day to a 41-degree day the very next day, and snow in the mountains. I mean, it was just a very abrupt change, and even though it was abrupt, everybody heaved a big sigh of relief.
I feel the same way. I was guiding a trip in Yellowstone of the Tetons, and this was September 21st, 22nd. Cook City and Silvergate, Montana. Normally you don't get a 12 to 14-inch snowstorm until late October, but they had one the 21st and 22nd of September, shut down most of the roads inside Yellowstone, people to go all the way around if they wanted to go to Jackson or somewhere else, and it was more like a November event, and that followed on the heels of an 80-degree day not that many days before.
Yeah, really wide pendulum swings with the temperatures. But at any rate, we're here, and it is a beautiful day, thankfully. And it's a time for us to kind of slow down after all of this angst and all of this commotion in our own lives, and thinking about other people as well. One of the things I wanted to say is that normally, and most of our viewers know, we have a celebration of St. Francis of Assisi.
Yeah.
I've been a fan for many, many years of taking a day off and celebrating the animals that we live among, not just our domestic animals, but of course our wild animals that are so wonderful to us and for us in the world. And we're not going to be doing that this year for one reason. Many of our viewers may have noticed that our ranch has been a bit curtailed, and that's because we've suffered a significant financial loss with the fires and have had to let most of our staff go. So Kelly's doing an enormously good job of keeping everybody percolating around here, but we just don't have the manpower to do some of our normal fall things, which is unfortunate, but I would like to be able to celebrate the St. Francis of Assisi Day now with you. Are you game for that?
Certainly.
Really good.
After all, my given name is Francis, so,
Is that right?
Right up my alley.
Right up your alley. Were you named after him?
Named after my dad and granddad, but I'm sure there's some connection.
Some connection.
We've all loved animals.
Yeah.
Hey, sweetie.
Okay. This, of course, everybody knows is Chinook. I'm going to back him up in here. So, Toby, maybe you wouldn't mind reading the prayer that we have over the years read every year at St. Francis of Assisi Day. Today is the anniversary of his death. October 3rd. His feast is normally on October 4th. And come on, Chinook, stand back just a little bit. Okay.
All right. O Supreme Spirit of creation, from your sacred breath came forth birds and beasts, fish and fowl, creatures of such variety and beauty that we are continuously amazed at your divine imagination. These children of yours have been blessed by you, their Creator, with simplicity, beauty, and a cosmic purpose. May we humble humans acknowledge their shining presences in our lives. May you bless the many animals with whom we share our world. May we take delight in their beauty and naturalness. May we speak of all the world's creatures with respect and love. May we treat all living things with kindness and affection. Bless those animals who live amongst us. May we honor their trust as they look to us for their care. May we put their well-being foremost in our hearts and minds. Bless those animals who live far beyond our bounds. May we acknowledge that ours is a sacred world and a shared world. May we acknowledge that humanity's actions are global in reach. May we protect the Earth's gifts for all your creatures to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. And I brought Chinook to celebrate this day with me, in part because this last month has brought me some really sad news about Chinook. Chinook is a 14-year-old, I think. He's 13 or 14 years old. And during the time of the fire, many of our horses had irritated eyes, and many of their eyes were dripping. And unfortunately, I did not recognize that his right eye was not dripping because of the fire, but because he had the beginning of moon blindness. And my viewers know about moon blindness from Bonnie, who's running around here somewhere. And what moon blindness is an autoimmune disease. So his own system was attacking his eye. And the trick to preventing the horse from going blind is to get it in time so that you can stop the inflammation from putting pressure on the retina. And we just missed that. So part of his retina, not his whole retina, he has some sight now out of his right eye, but not entirely. And this is a great sadness to me, but it also presents me with an opportunity and a challenge. I mean, a one-eyed horse can do well, and I think in the coming weeks, Chinook and I will start riding together with my using voice commands so that as he becomes blind, you have to get out of the way here, dear. I can't see the audience. Yeah.
Do you want one of these?
Yeah. Well, let's give him an apple here. Yeah. This will keep him happy. Here you go. There you go, buddy. He's smelling those apples.
He's got one more.
That's right. I want to modify the way I ride him so that I can help him see with my body and use cues. And the way to do that, of course, is to use some verbal cues as well as some seat cues as to which way to turn. I've been following a one-eyed horse named Sarah on a Facebook post, and she is they just took her down into the Grand Canyon.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And, you know, that's a harrowing trail. And the one-eyed horse did just really fine. So this is my goal, is to get with Chinook and to work with him and to become a well-greased machine so that we can continue to ride. I haven't been doing it this week because some of you may have noticed I have a brace on my arm. I fell while I was in Wisconsin at a wedding. Well, that was really wonderful apples, wasn't it? No, I think it's just fine. Yeah, come on. Let's just stay there. Nope. You stay. And I look forward to this time with him. Stay there. Yeah. You're right in here. He likes that apple. Okay. But at any rate, that's why I brought Chinook here, to share that story with him. And, you know, a part of me feels I get into that woulda, coulda, shoulda mode, you know.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is. I feel some responsibility that I didn't recognize what was happening and catch it in time. But I can't go back and redo that. What I can do is think about going forward. Okay, you stay. All right.
Yeah, that's great too, because Chinook will be able to do the things that he is growing up accustomed to doing with you. So it's not like his life is over or
not at all.
His life has to slow down. It's like you're both adjusting.
Yeah, we're going to adjust. So do tell me about Flojo. I understand that Flojo came with Eric in your relationship. Is that correct?
Right. Flojo was adopted by Eric in 2001, and she was uncageable when she was at the Humane Society of Western Montana. And he brought her home with another cat that didn't work out, so we had to return that one because Flojo quickly decided that she just needed one human and no cats to share her life with.
Maybe Jake could bring up the photo that you brought.
That'd be great.
Of Flojo, a beautiful. What do you call a cat that has the black and white? I'm not a cat person, and so I don't know. I mean, I know what to call a horse in his colors, but I don't know what to call a cat with a much.
We used to just call her our semi-sweet furry demon. She is just such a doll. I mean, she's very talkative. At her peak of her, agility and mental acuity, she'd be in the backyard, she'd see an airplane flying towards the airport, and she'd snarl at it like it was a big bird she wanted to get. And she just loved
She had some character.
She loved, just talking, and she liked to be petted right on kind of like the backside. She'd purr real loudly, but when she was younger, she'd jump up on the table and sit with me during the day, and when Eric was in the studio at night with his kiln and the ceramic wheel, she'd come down, and in her later years, she'd just be hanging out right next to the space heater. She'd be like 2 inches away. You would think she's cooking, but that was just what she wanted, what she needed. But I'm just thankful she passed on a summer day before that second wave of weather came in, and her last meal was a grasshopper. That was pretty cool.
A grasshopper? Did she caught herself?
She did.
That's
she might have had some assistance from her dad's, but
so how did she come by the name of Flojo?
Oh, because she was very athletic when she was at the Humane Society, and she was able to outrun anybody she wanted to. She was a good jumper, and just a good athletic being.
So this guy's hogging all of the camera. Let's just get him behind me if I can. Yeah, come on.
Anyway, we had to put her down on the 18th of September, and it was a sad day, but it was a humane thing, and we buried her in our backyard in the Aspen Grove. We have a grove called the Hope Grove that we are basically using as a space to honor people in our lives who have fallen sick or have passed on, and that also includes the animals we love. So it's kind of this hopeful place where we spend time, and we get to watch the aspens grow. And right now, Flojo is inevitably feeding those aspens.
Yes.
So it's kind of bittersweet.
I like that kind of tradition.
Yeah.
It's important, don't you think?
I think it's huge. It's important.
Yeah.
I'm glad we can do it because we own our house, we own our land. We can do that. We can't do it in an apartment building, but we can do it there.
Right. And that's what we do here too.
Yeah.
Is I have buried several horses, their entire bodies on our property. And then I've had several horses cremated and planted trees over their ashes. And I love the fact that I know that their spirits are still here. And it really does provide meaning to look at a plant and know that it's growing and that there's a circle of life. And I wanted to tell our viewers that, as you all know, our ranch camera has been broken. We're standing under it, where it's supposed to be. And it was so broken that the company is sending us a brand new camera. And that will come probably next week. And when it comes, we will get the bucket truck to go up and install it. Actually, we'll swap it out with the Nest camera. We'll put the new camera up where the Nest is, and we'll take the Nest camera and put it up where the ranch camera is. And while we're up at the Nest, we will remove Hoot's body. You know, our youngest chick died, and I will bury him underneath the nest near another chick that died a couple of years ago, a shadow, and it feeds our pine tree. And I like the symbolism there, that it goes full circle back to the earth. And this is the time of year when you think about and contemplate the whole full circle of life, and you come out of the summer and into the winter, and pass through this beautiful fall. What plans do you have now? You're going back out into the fall, are you not?
I'll be leading a couple of tours in December with National Geographic, both in Yellowstone in winter. And then Eric and I are going to travel to Virginia. It's been kind of a somber couple of years, but full of lots of joys too. Long story short, we're going to scatter my mom's ashes when we're back east this fall, and then see my dad, who is in hospice, late stages of dementia. So just spending time with people while they're still here, and spending time with family members, and honoring my mom's life. And I'm sure we'll have, I'm hoping, at least one kayaking adventure remaining, maybe go up to one of the nearby lakes on a nice sunny day, and maybe a late summer camp out, and probably dress up for Halloween this year. I'm feeling festive for a change.
Oh, yeah. I think we're going to miss our Halloween festivities this year, just because we're so short on staff. But we will certainly celebrate in our hearts. Jake, are there any questions from any of our viewers? I'll put my earbud in so I can hear Jake tell me the questions if there are any. I also wanted to mention to people that the fly mask on Chinook is to keep the sun off of his eyes. He will wear a fly mask now the rest of his life. Evidently, the sun is a contributing factor in moon blindness. So we don't want his good eye, to be exposed to the sun. Kelly kindly bought me a different eye mask for riding. It's a little bit softer and a little bit more subtle than this one. But this one provides maximum protection, so we're going to keep it on in the pasture. And I miss this looking into his beautiful eyes. He has beautiful eyes.
Yes, you do. I mean, yeah, you can tell he still does. It's just, but he's fortunate to have you as a provider and caretaker.
Okay. All right, Jake. Are there any questions?
I have one thing.
Oh. Okay, good. Well, I really appreciate everybody coming and celebrating this time with us. I love having Hobie come out and punctuate the season. I so enjoy his connection with nature, and I rely on it every now and then, And you have a new website, do you not, Hobie? Can you tell people?
Sure. It's called yourlifenature.com. It's YOURLIFE. Nature, yourlifenature.com, and I've revamped it, added a bunch of new photos from the Pacific Northwest, California deserts, Montana, all over the world, and got some big beautiful prints, and I've got a lot of free nature connection tools that people can receive, such as a sit-spot recording, and also e-zine, and also a really nice meditation. So there's lots of cool things there. yourlifenature.com. It's just debuted Sunday night, so I'm excited to have that labor of love created, and feels good to have that done.
Yeah, it's a different kind of work, isn't it?
It is. It takes a lot of people whose brains through technology, because that's not mine.
Yeah. Well, your talent really does lie in connecting all of us with nature, and some of the things that Hobie has been sending me, links to research, etc., really shows the importance of all of us connecting with nature, whether we do it through visual images, through listening to water or the ocean sounds, or hopefully getting out there yourself and breathing and seeing and smelling and feeling and touching.
And even finding it free for 10 minutes during a crazy lunch hour, it's worth your time. You know, you'll go back to work more refreshed, more focused, able to be more attentive and less stressed. So all those are good things in this 24/7 world we live in. Just to slow down and connect and be present and join us and join your friends outside too.
Yeah, and neuroscientists are finding that there's a neurological aspect to all of this. This is not just because we know it in ourselves that we feel better. There actually is, a physiological response.
Right, everything from recovery times to people bouncing back from depression to people who might be dealing with cancer who adhere to their protocols much better because they're out connecting with nature. So there's just an amazing correlation between nature connection and our health, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, or all three.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. I feel sorry for our friend here, but I'm glad that he's in such good care with you. Yes, such a good.
Well, he's normally not this pusher, but we did have apples.
Yes, he's hoping for number 3.
He's hoping for number 3. When we go back to the orchard, we might find number 3. Before I let you go, I would like to say that next week at this time is Jewel's birthday. Come here, Jewel. Jewel. Come here, Jewel. Yeah, she's limping a little bit. She's arthritic. It's not really her birthday in the sense that she was born, but she came into my life on this date 11 years ago. And we figured that she was about somewhere between 1.5 and 2 when we got her. So today is either her 12th or 13th birthday. I'm going to go with 12.5. This is her 12.5 birthday.
Happy birthday. Do you get apples?
Yeah, but she's just been a wonderful partner for me in my life, and we've done a lot of trails together, covered a lot of miles, haven't we, girl? Yeah. And happy birthday, dear girl. You're a wonderful dog.
She's a sweet girl.
Well, thank you all for joining us. I really appreciate getting back in touch with all of you. I've had a bit of an absence. It's been kind of hectic around here with the fire and everything, but I hope that as things slow down, we'll have more time to reconnect. Thank you for coming, and thank you, Jake, for helping us, and thank you, Hobie, as always.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you guys in December. We'll be back.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Bye.